Attack on Titan Season 4 Episode 24 or Part 2 Episode 8. Now the episodes are getting more interesting and are steadily growing darker and darker as we get closer to the anime's conclusion. The last episode of Attack on Titan was there to essentially set up the events of this episode. This episode is titled Pride. Of course, once again, the name of this episode reflects the mood of the characters within the story. So as Eren's friends are feeling helpless right now and are in a weakened state, all they've got to rely on is their pride, integrity and honor. Can they make a choice that they don't regret in the future? That's basically the question of this episode. This episode is based on chapter 126, and last time the main cast started coming together and are now somewhat unified, so what's their plan? It's gonna be difficult coming up with a plan when you got Flock and a Yeagerist on your back. And yes, I will admit, Flock has been carrying the last few episodes. Getting into the actual episode. Hange lures and kills one of the Yeagerists. So yeah, one of the Yeagerists is looking for their friend, who turns out to be already dead. When discovering a dead body, the Yeagerist is then shot through his chest very shortly after. Kind of brutal, but this is basically the war arc of Attack on Titan, I guess. Hanjin arrives back to her camp where a severely injured Levi is sleeping. She theorizes that the only reason Levi is even alive right now is because of his Ackerman heritage. More so to do with DNA, because as we all know, Ackerman are incredibly powerful, fast, and durable. Hange is worried that they can't stop the Yeagerists who seem to be in complete control of Paradis Island and the status quo, even if Eren does betray Zeke. She now begins to contemplate how much time they even have left, since to them it almost seems like it's over, hence this episode is called Pride. Since it seems like Hange has almost given up at this point. Hange then begins to construct a ledge so she can move Levi around in, kind of like a wheelchair, since Levi can't move around by himself at this point. When suddenly Eren uses the Founding Titan's powers from about 2 episodes ago, give or take, taking them into the Paths dimension, as he did with all the Eldians giving his speech. Right after this, once it all ends, Levi then awakens and gets straight to the bat to demand where Zeke is gone. He's super annoyed that Zeke was prepared to die and Levi didn't see that coming, since he knows that he probably would have beaten him if it was like a 1v1 brawl between the two. Seeing this ledge, Levi asks Hange about it and says that they have to get back to the battle no matter what to stop Eren, otherwise everything is over, quite literally. Levi and Hange then run into Commander Magath and Peak. Levi tells them that both sides basically seek the same thing and have the same ambition. They both want to stop Zeke and make him pay for his actions. Magath is still very wary about them since, technically they were on the opposite side not so long ago and they are his enemies, but he's willing to hear them out anyway since he's got nothing to lose at this point. Hange tells them that she thinks Zeke is right now battling Eren for control of the Founding Titan, since she does know that deep down Eren hates Zeke's euthanization plan. As proven 2 years ago when Hange saw this, Eren wasn't willing to accept Zeke's euthanization plan or willing to sacrifice Historia. While Commander Magath and Pieck do agree with them, they're not sure how useful these two would be, Hange and Levi. Looking at the current state of Levi, it looks like he can't even dodge a bullet. Moving on to Connie Cornelius' confliction. As the rumbling has now begun and he approaches evening, Connie and Falco both escape, making camp for night. Connie is conflicted whether he should feed Falco to his mother to revert her back into a human again. This is kind of dumb since the Titan curse would ensure that it should only live 13 years after that anyway. I don't know, maybe that is a lot of time. I think it depends on perspective. Connie does love his mother, but he's not thinking straight right now, so I don't exactly blame him. Anyway, Connie doesn't really want to kill a child because, isn't straight up evil like Eren. He's also not exactly the devil that Gabi portrays him to be earlier on in the series. The next morning they arrive at Ragako, the village that Connie comes from, the village that Zeke destroyed, and Falco reveals that he overheard Connie talking to himself the previous night. He asks Connie why he took him here while pretending that he didn't know who Falco was, even though he knew that Falco was the one responsible for Sasha's death technically, when Gabi shot her. Connie tells Falco what happened is in the past, and it was a part of a military training that she received. She was ready for death. It's like what her father said, she walked into the forest. And the whole point is to get children outside this forest. They need to escape it, otherwise the past atrocities will just reoccur. He knows all of this and shows Falco his mother anyway, without telling the boy who this Titan used to be. He suggests that Falco should help him clean the Titan's teeth by climbing a support beam. Like, come on, you don't actually think this is gonna work, right, Connie? Surely he can see through this, but I stand corrected. Before he can do any of this, Armin and Gabi arrive on horseback. Gabi shouts to Falco that he's inherited the Jaw Titan and that Connie is trying to feed him to that Titan over there. Connie reacts by grabbing Falco and holding a blade to his throat. He starts climbing the ladder to the beam above his mother, holding Falco alongside with him as he defends the actions to Armin. Gabi urges Falco to use the power of the Jaw Titan to escape, but Falco's too confused to understand what's going on since he doesn't know what happened to Porco. Armin thinks about how he's failed to live up to Erwin Smith's legacy and begs Gabi to forgive Connie for what he's about to do. He anchors the wires to the support beam right above Connie's mother, intending to sacrifice himself instead of Falco. Seeing this, Connie lets go of the boy and pushes Armin out the way before he can do that, before he can fall into his mother's mouth. Connie then realizes that even if his mother became human again, she would suffer from a curse of a Titan and becoming the Colossus Titan. So right now my boy's thinking straight. It was just his emotions holding him back before, but he's technically right. His mother told him to become a great soldier, but instead he almost killed a child and one of his best friends. Connie then decides that he still wants to be a soldier that his mother would be proud of, so he suggests that him and Armin go save some people. Meanwhile, Mikasa finds herself in the infirmary alongside Louise. Wearing a missing scarf, she must have taken it right before they left for battle. Louise can no longer go outside due to the shrapnel now stuck in her stomach. If you guys remember, she did take a really harsh attack in the last episode when shrapnel got stuck inside of her, embedded within her. Louise states that she doesn't have very long to live now, which is really sad because she's not even that old. You got to remember, she's actually in her very early teens. However, she still believes in the Yeagerist cause and has no regrets. Having no regret is one of the main themes within Attack on Titan, so she's embodying it pretty well, I guess. When she met Eren once, he told her to throw the scarf away, but she held onto it. Mikasa tells her to give it back, being extremely harsh. As she leaves, Louise tells Mikasa that she became a soldier because she admired her. She stated, "I have no regrets because I chased after you, as I lived, devoting my heart." And Mikasa leaves. I feel like Mikasa is being really uncompassionate to her. I understand it is her scarf and she's not in a great mood, but you gotta remember, this is the girl that she saved. She remembered that Mikasa saved her and ran after Mikasa her entire life. It's a parallel to Eren saving Mikasa, so surely Mikasa would understand her. And even being on her deathbed, she looked after Mikasa's scarf. She could at least reassure her or thank her, like goddamn. Anyway, cutting to another scene, Floch declares that the time of Eldian hate is over. John is there teamed up with the Yeagerists, but we all know this is actually a guise. Mikasa observes from a crowd, and the citizens are celebrating. Armin, Connie, Falco and Gabi all go get some food before they continue their plan to group up with Reiner and the others. When they sit down, they discover that Annie is literally sitting right next to them, gobbling down a pie. Annie blushes and the madman Connor is shocked by the fact that she's eating like an animal. Hitch then comes over to see Annie is gone, having left a note which says that she has left with her former comrades, and thanks Hitch for having spoken with her for all of those years. The next scene we see is between Floch and John, who take Yelena and Onyankopon to the roof to prepare them for execution. Floch then demonstrates how Yelena's real objective was to help Zeke with his euthanization plan and not to actually help the Eldians, proving that she was a rat. He then makes a point for why Onyankopon should be executed. Even though Onyankopon didn't know of Yelena's plan, Floch makes a point that he's still technically an enemy of the Eldian Empire, so should be killed anyway, which is kind of dumb now I think about it, because you're killing him based off association. The legend Onyankopon basically calls out Floch for how dumb that logic is, explaining that he literally tried to help save Eldia, and that he didn't want any beef between his people and Paradis Island. Everybody low-key agrees on how based Onyankopon is, until he's silenced when John shoots 4 shots right below him, or next to him I guess. John then tells Floch that his aim sucked, and Floch asks what he's doing, but I think we all know what's going on. He doesn't actually want to kill Onyankopon. Out of nowhere, the Titan begins plowing through a crowd. Seeing the Titan, John pushes Floch out the way, saving him, and is instead swallowed by the Titan alongside Yelena and Onyankopon. Floch then orders a Yeagerist to find them, and is shocked to see that Mikasa is also missing. Back to Mikasa and Connie. They respond to the 4 gunshot signals made by John and continue the operation. The 2 of them, along with Annie, Armin, Gabi and Falco, have a pair of wagons carrying around weapons and food. They know that all of the current attention is being averted to the other side of the fort that they're in right now, so are trying to escape. While leaving, Annie realizes that there's somebody higher in a window observing them. The scouts then finally reunite and team up with Magath, Levi and Hanj, as well as the 3 who were inside the mouth of a cart titan and clean themselves out of a river. They all then set off to save the world. Onyankopon asks John when they decided to team up with the Marley guys, and John responds that it was only last night. Onyankopon is shocked and asks why he defected from the Yeagerists. John basically says that too many people have been sacrificed, too many people have died for them to give up now and let the world be destroyed by Eren. Dead comrades would want him to protect humanity if they were alive. This is when Yelena asks why she's been forced to tag along. Hanj tells her it was a personal request from Commander Magath. The team of wagons then find Reiner in a room where Gabi left him alone. Annie then kicks him right in the face to wake him up. Reiner is completely amazed to see her again and starts to panic after noticing that his former friends are surrounding him. Gabi and Falco settle him down, telling him that they're all now on the same side so he can relax. Connie tells them all that they're running out of time. Reiner asks them where the heck they're even going and what they're gonna do. Connie replies that they're gonna go save the world, so Reiner's gotta help them do it. So we're left with one of the most iconic scenes within all of Attack on Titan, and that is the iconic Cringe Vengers scene. So yeah, in conclusion, we got another interesting turn of events. Everybody's teamed up to take down Eren, I guess. I still believe that there's going to be an ending different to the manga ending, so I recommend checking this video out here if you want to see that. If you want to see more content like this in the future, subscribe and like the video. Anyway, thank you for watching the entire video, and I'll see you later. Peace.